Three-time All-Star Sean Casey,
Yes.
Major League Baseball Network analyst. He'll be part of MLB Network's All-Star Game coverage beginning today at 3 Eastern, Nationals Park. MLB Tonight airing live before and after the All-Star Game. Your first All-Star Game.
Oh, yeah.
Who did you want to meet?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it was 1999. I was 25, and I was literally like, I thought I won a contest, and like Piazza's right next to me, McGuire, all those guys. I think I wanted to hang out with McGuire, and I wanted to know that Randy Johnson wasn't going to kill me. Like, I was like, hey, I wanted to humanize him. You know what I mean? So he was on my team. He was like, hey, nice to meet you. He had his son there. I'm like, okay, I feel better about facing him now because he just said hi to me. You know what I mean? But one of the coolest stories of that time was the All-Century team comes out, right? And then Ted Williams comes out, right? And it was Fenway Park and what Pedro did and all that stuff. But we're walking up to Ted Williams when he came to throw out the first pitch. And I get a pat on my shoulder, and I turn around. It's George Brett because we're all walking in. So the All-Century team comes with the players, and I'm like, it was like the first time I was speaking. The first time I was speaking, so I was like, yeah, and like this guy's got 3,000 hits, like it's unbelievable. And he's like, hey man, hey, I just want to introduce myself, George Brett. I was like, I know who you are. He's like, man, I love your swing. I literally, I couldn't say anything. I was like, he got me something like, this guy's a total loser. You know what I mean? So. But that was one of the coolest moments of my life. At that time, George Brett patted me on the shoulder. I was like, the fact that this guy even knows who I am is unbelievable.
Did you get autographs?
Oh my gosh, I crushed him. I got great. I always felt like I was a fan. I was like, they're gonna I'm tricking these guys, and soon they're gonna send me down. So I'm gonna get as many autographs as I can.
Yeah, but you're hitting 350, aren't you?
I know, but still, you never know. You're gonna hit 210 and like get tossed out of here, right? So I literally. First base couldn't have been better for me because I just put in a memorabilia room that I've been waiting to put in for years, right? And I count everything. I have 180 bats signed. I have like 400 baseballs. Like, I mean, who does that? It's ridiculous. It's a cool room now. I collected it all myself, but this is how I collected it, like holding guys on. I remember one of the coolest bats I have is Tony Gwynn, right? So 32, probably 29. It's got a tennis grip on it, right? But I remember holding him on and be like, hey, man, any chance you could send a bat over to me? And he was like, what's going on here?
Wait, you're on first base.
I'm on first base. They get their lead. I'm like, hey, any chance you could send a bat over? These guys are like, who's this guy? I'm like, man, I was like, I know you're 15 years in the league, but this is my second, and I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So if you could just send a ball and a bat over, that'd be great. I remember running into McGuire one time, like, hey, what's up, Big Mac? Going to the cage, like, hey, you mind sending a bat over to me? Everyone's doing it, So it's cool. So I have a lot of cool stuff that I collected just because.
What's the one thing, though, that if you got to get out of the house, that's you're grabbing one?
You know what? The one thing that I love, Pearl Jam in 2013. Yeah, no, isn't that funny? I'm like, well, the Tony Gwynn bat, I'm probably going to get that. And then, Vetter and I were hanging out one night at the Clementi Museum in Pittsburgh. Have you ever been there?
No.
In Pittsburgh, you guys got to go. It's called Engine House 25. This guy, Dwayne Reeder, has an unbelievable Clementi Museum, and there's a winery downstairs. So Pearl Jam was opening up Friday night. This is Tuesday night, and we're hanging out, just having some wine, smoking a cigar, and just talking baseball. And he was like, hey, what do you want to hear Friday night? And I was like, really? All right, cool. He's asking me what I want to hear Friday night. So I go into a bunch of things. Ed pulls out a pick, writes 6 songs on it, right? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So then we go to the show on Friday. He plays all the songs I asked him to play. And after the show, he's like, hey, here's the pick from Tuesday night. So I don't know why, but I'm getting that pick. It's in a frame, but I'm breaking the frame, taking that pick out. If there's a fire, and I'm out of there.
Okay, but how do you hook up with Eddie Vedder to begin with?
You know what? 2003, we're playing the Cubs. 6 games to go in the season. It's been like one of the worst seasons ever. Everyone's on the DL. Jason LaRue and I are the only 2 guys that have finished the season, right? So like when you're 30 games out and there's 6 games to go, you're literally running the sprints before the game going, how am I going to make it through 6 more games? I don't think I can do it, right? So after the game, we come in, and there's a guy sitting there with short blonde hair. Like at the time, you could see he had dyed his hair. And he was sitting with Cardinal. And Jose Cardinal was Ed's like idol growing up in Chicago. And Cardinal was our first base coach, one of the greatest coaches I had, just such a great guy. And we met him that night. He ended up playing a song for us in the clubhouse. We asked him, which was so nice. We stayed afterwards, and everyone hung out, and that's how I first met him. And then really kind of met him again in 2008 with Theo Epstein.
Did you guys, chop it up late night? Your teams? Were you guys partiers?
I mean, not real big partiers, but we'd go to the hotel bar and, have a couple pops after the game and just, reminisce. I don't know if the guys nowadays still do. I'm sure they do, but some of the best times were in the club, staying in the clubhouse, maybe having a pop and just talking baseball, and just.
Did you ever have one of those Kruk moments? Didn't they play wiffle ball with the clubbies and he wasn't going to play the next day at Wrigley and he stayed up all night and he was told he had the day off. So did he play? He's drinking beer. Oh yeah, he had to play. So I think he went 3 for 4 with a home run, and he was completely hungover. But he stayed all night in the clubhouse drinking beer with the clubbies, playing wiffle ball, I think. And then all of a sudden he thinks he's got the day off. Next thing you know, hey Krucker,
just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. You're playing, hitting third.
You didn't have one of those moments that he had with Randy Johnson in the All-Star game, where he basically said, "Look, I don't hurt me.
I don't want to be here."
Yeah, this is.
I've had those moments. I've had when I first faced Johnson, I was legitimately scared, and it was it was, and I remember like battling too. It was like I remember my first at bat was 2-2. I was like foul, and then next thing you know, like Randy Johnson, he's like I don't know what he was thinking, but like he walks up 10 feet from the plate. I'm like, what's he doing? He grabs the ball, looks at me. I'm like, I just gotta get out of here. And I think the next pitch, I choked up, rolled over to second. I was like, thank God I'm out. I don't want this
throw that slider.
Person, like 6'11", 93 mile an hour slider, 100 miles an hour, throwing from behind you, big mullet.
That's intimidating. I mean, you're used to seeing a guy who might be 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
Oh,
who's
yeah.
big.
You don't mind that. 6'11", lefty. I'm like telling Jack McKeon, I think I got a bad back today.
There had to be guys, left-handers, who had the Randy Johnson flu, right?
100%.
You couldn't.
100%.
Yeah. You weren't going to play that next day.
No doubt about it.
Is there a guy nowadays where somebody would
like Sale, Chris Sale? I mean, who wants to face that, right? And it looks like he's just like here letting it eat. Just here it is, just throwing with conviction. You know what I mean? So
I love watching Sale.
Oh, he's great,
I love watching Scherzer.
Yeah, you know what?
Like guys that just pound the strike zone, they don't waste time.
And here it is. It's nasty in the zone. It's late movement. I'm coming right at you. You know it. I know it. It's like a one-on-one wrestling match, right?
But what's the fastest pitch you think you ever faced?
Joel Zumaya it was like one back in the day when he was with the Tigers. It was like 100. I think it was 103, and I was like, wham! I was like, now that's different. I was like, I've never seen that before. You know what I mean? So,
but okay, so if I throw you 98, and I throw you 103, is there that much of a difference?
Well, if you threw 98 and 93, I mean, that's like 93 looks like poop soup. 98 looks like gasoline, right? So then we go to 103. We're like, okay, that's a different ball game. I've never seen that before.
Wait, what's poop soup?
Poop soup's just like when guys are just laying it in there. You come back to the dugout, you're like, what's the guy got? He's like, this guy's got poop.
So he's
we're gonna get him out in the third, 100%. Put a string together, a couple knocks, boom, he's out of game.
So he's throwing salad.
Yeah, he's like the 4 or 5 starter that's just slopping it up there.
But you faced Jamie Moyer, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, Jamie Moyer. I faced Jamie Moyer when he was like 65 years old. I think it was like he was with the Phillies
and still throwing the same.
But it was unbelievable because he would throw a 79-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, not a heater,
but yeah. But his changeup was so good. It was unbelievable. Like I don't think I got a hit. And you walk back to the dugout. You're like, how am I not hitting this guy? Like his changeup was so good. Like it had 11 mile an hour difference. And it was so nasty that his 70-mile-an-hour heater would look pretty hard. If
we had an open draft for pitchers right now,
right?
You got them for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Open draft for pitchers. Well, I got to go with Scherzer, right?
For the next 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's an animal. He's pitch however long he wants.
Okay.
Chris Sale.
Okay.
Right. I got those two.
Okay. Scherzer's 33.
That's all right. He's going to pitch till he's 38. Garrett Cole.
Okay.
I think he's a horse. I think Cole's just getting better.
Severino?
Severino, 100%.
He's 24.
You're right. He's
pretty
nasty.
good. Yeah.
There's 4. Who else you got, Dan?
Syndergaard? No, I like DeGrom.
I like DeGrom. DeGrom's filthy. Do you think he should be starting a game?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, It's unfortunate that he's had this good. He could be the Cy Young winner in the National League.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt.
Because there's no run support.
Right.
But he's He's another one of those guys. I'm going to pound the strike zone, and I don't waste time.
Don't waste time. Anybody that has – listen, I really think that the best hitters and the best pitchers, they make their money that last 5 feet, 3 feet, whatever it is, in the zone where things are cutting, sinking. Like anybody has great movement in the zone, any great hitter that can wait late, make decisions a little bit later, I think those are the best players. And when you see like a guy like DeGrom, sure, that they pound the strike zone with good movement and they can, kind of pepper both corners.
Did you ever suspect a pitcher cheating?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Doctoring the ball?
Yeah, I'm sure. There's no doubt about it.
Now, how different is it? Like, what do you see when you see that somebody's
just
cut it?
The movement that it's so big. Anybody that has really big movement, sometimes you question it a little bit.
Who had big movement that you questioned?
I don't know, Dan.
You're out of the game now.
No, I'm not. I'm still in it. This is going to be everywhere.
You just
Sean Casey thinks so-and-so's cheating.
Well, give me a hint.
No, I'm not telling you, Dan.
Is he still in the game?
No.
Mike Mussina?
No. The Moose? No, I never thought that. I faced him one time.
Okay.
He was good.
Let me see. Let's just go through names. Alphabetically.
You're not going to get me, Dan. I'm not talking.
Did you say anything to the catcher?
No, no. I didn't say anything.
But how do they cut the ball?
Who knows? I mean, maybe there's something that, a little.
Oh, the glove?
Follower, something like that. A lot of guys, I don't think it's necessarily cheating. I think, the pine tar thing, pitchers using pine tar with I think.
But are you okay with that?
I am.
I'd rather have that you had grip than you didn't have grip.
I agree. It definitely helps. I think it does help with your grip to, give it a little bit more, maybe spin rate or whatever. But I don't know. I think a lot of guys are doing that. Well, remember Kenny, I didn't say that. Kenny Rogers. No, but Kenny
got caught cheating.
He got caught, but
is that the guy you're talking about?
No, because I was on his team and I was like, keep doing it. As long as we're winning games, let's keep doing it.
I was going to ask you, have you had a teammate? Because you're at first base.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you're aware of if somebody comes to first base.
Right.
Did anybody ever say, that dude's cheating?
I mean, probably. Yeah, there's a couple guys.
Best conversation you ever had at first base?
Oh, man, I've had some great conversations. Lance Berkman was just always a great conversation because he wasn't going anywhere. And
was he Fat Elvis?
Yeah.
You've known as Fat Elvis?
Man, he could rake, though. But we'd have a great time at first base, and the longer the at-bat would go would be great. You know what? Henry Rodriguez, my rookie year. Did I ever tell you this story? So it was like the whole thing where I'm excited to be there. It's 1998. Like I said, I'm asking him for autographs. And he was like, who is this guy? So Ron Vallone's on the mound. And I was my first, I was 3 weeks in the big leagues. So I'd never been with Ron Vallone, right? So Henry Rodriguez gets a lead off, and I'm like, hey, man, it's really cool. I'm like, it's so cool when you homer, and they throw the O. Henry bars on the field. And he turns to me, he's like, thanks, man. Right when he turns to me, Ron Vallone steps off, bam, oh, God. I guess I'm holding the ball. I'm like, my bad, dude. Like, I've never seen Ron Vallone before. I had no idea he was going to pick over. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
You're tagging him.
You're out. You're out.
You're a knucklehead, man. Did you ever do the hidden ball trick?
No, never did it. Never did. Saw Matt when I first got called up with the Indians. I saw Matt Williams do it and get. I can't remember who he got. He went over to third and was like, "Hey, excuse me, man. I just want to dust off the base." And I just boom, you're out. I was like, I've never seen that work. And then they drilled him next. Matt got up there next to him, boom, right in the ribs.
Oh, really?
I was like, I'm not trying that again. I don't even be getting hit in the ribs.
Once again, unwritten rules.
I was telling Al later. So Al's brother, Mark, right, is a monster. Like, Al's a monster, right? He's a big dude. And Mark later's a monster, too. So my rookie year, I don't know why I go back to my rookie year. All these things happen. But Scott Sullivan had hit Scott Rowland like twice, or once. Rowland had homered twice. So here I go. It's like, again, my first month in the big leagues, and I'm leading off the next inning, and Mark Leiter comes in, throwing like 97. I'm like, and he's a monster. So I'm like, I'm definitely wearing one right here, right? First pitch, boom, right in the ribs. I just put my head down like Pete Rose at the first base, trying to just hustle down to first. Like, hopefully Mark Leiter didn't look at me wrong and charge me.
And you want to cry.
Yeah, I was like, well, that hurt. Don't rub it. I was like, don't rub it. I'm like, don't rub it. It's got 96 right in the ribs.
You got seams?
Oh, yeah, seams,
The
black
baseball
and blue.
seam.
Oh, yeah. So awesome.
How many stolen bases did you have?
Oh, I think I had like 17 bags.
So you played 12. How many years?
Find that out, fellas.
You played 12? Paulie?
I played, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Casey, 12 seasons, 18 stolen bases. That's 1.5 stolen bases per year.
Yes, and I had four 1 year. How about that, guys? 1.5.
Okay, were these like double steals? You were the back end of a double steal or something?
I think 12 of them were back end
Come
double
on.
steals. No, what happened was what was great was when it was the back end of the double steal, they'd try and get me in second. I'm like, what about the guy? What about the guy
lead
in third?
runner?
What about the guy
The
in
lead
third?
runner?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They're like, oh, everyone's throwing a second. This is great.
Were you always the slowest guy on your team?
I kind of was, man. It's so frustrating because I would work on my speed all the time, and I'd be like cheek to cheek when I'm working. I'm like, God, this technique's so good. Then I get in the game, hit one of the gap, and just turn into like this guy. I was like, what's that? I'm like ice skating in quicksand. It's like, I'm phenomenal.
Do you find yourself defending the game more and more now that you're out, and how people view it, and is it America's pastime, and what needs to be done, and there's all home runs and strikeouts? Do you find it?
I mean, I still think it's the greatest game going, and I love baseball. I love, there's so much passion for the game. I think, listen, look at the All-Star game. There's a lot of good characters out there. There's a lot of good talent. There's a lot of guys that can hit the ball, a long way. I mean, strikeouts are up. I think the game is different that way. I think that I think back when I was playing, if you struck out 100 times a year, people are like, oh, he's striking out 100 times a year.
No, you're embarrassed.
Yeah, and now guys are striking out 200 and you're getting 20 mil. You know what I mean? So I think just the mentality of players are different.
But how would you be, like, you're not a home run hitting guy.
Yeah.
But you would be.
I think a guy like myself, I think they're starting to realize the value of guys that don't strike out, guys that put the ball in play, guys that can get on base, guys that, that get the line moving. I think the more teams, if you watch the teams that have won the World Series, they're not huge strikeout teams, because in the postseason, you're going to face good pitching. And the teams that have lineups that can get the ball, that can get the line moving, can get on base and hit a little bit, those are the teams that win.
It's always good to see you, man.
You're the best.
A lot of fun.
You're the best. You guys are too, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
He's known as the mayor. Who gave you that nickname?
Bill Mosiello and this Mike Kirby when I was in the Cape Cod League in 1994. They're like, dude, it looks like you're always lobbying for votes. And I'm like, I am. So they started calling me the mayor, and then it's kind of stuck.
He's Sean Casey, part of MLB Network's All-Star Game coverage beginning live today at 3 Eastern from Nationals Park. You going to have makeup on?
Oh, yeah.
I like that, yeah. MLB tonight.
I love makeup. With this face, I got to have it.
Before, and why didn't you wear some today?
Because I just came here and hanging out with you. I don't know. Where's the makeup artist here? Dan Patrick Show doesn't have any makeup?
Yeah, she was back there.
Well, how about somebody tell me? Talking to Johnny Bench about Pete Rose and, hey, how good they were in the 70s and all that stuff.
Before and after the All-Star Game, MLB tonight with Sean and company. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Got it, man. Thanks for having
We'll close
me.
up shop here in D.C. after this in the Dan Patrick Show.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.